Okay, it's been a while since I've done a reading. I'm a little bit awkward about getting back into it. Let's see. So, I want to do kind of like a generalized reading. What's going on? What are your challenges, your opportunities? Um, Basically, what we can look, how we can look at your current situation, and how we can not look past it, but grow from it. My thing is falling. I wonder if I can. Okay. We'll work on the camera. It's a new setup. Um, the first one is the Devil in Reverse and the Ace of Cups. I'm trying to get an intuitive look at it because it could mean a couple of different things. What I'm kind of getting is like a confusion. This is totally unbiased and unjudgmental. If it sounds like it fits, then this is most likely your reading. And if not, that's okay, because I'm going to be posting more. And just don't ever like try to make, like puzzle pieces. When you try to shove them in the wrong spot because it looks like it fits or seems like that's the one, that's kind of what I'm talking about. There's no need to force it. If it's gonna fit, you'll know what I'm talking about. You'll be like, see, exactly. And if not, then yeah, just wait for the next reading and find out. But this is kind of like under the guise of self-love. You are imbalanced, I could say. So, like shopping. I need this. I want this. I'm getting this because also I can look pretty and feel pretty. It's like, okay, well, how many earrings do you have? Do you have like 20, 30, 50? Because you want to look pretty and feel pretty. Now, it's good to love yourself. It is great to love yourself. But something such as like an overindulgence and overspending, resting even, that like these are really tricky situations because how much is too much, how little is too little, you know what I mean? It's good to I think that the highlight or the theme of this is gonna be of the situation is maybe wondering, am I okay? Am I doing this wrong? I just, I'm trying to cut costs on my budget, but at the same time I don't want to work too hard. Am I playing enough? Am I truly making myself happy while keeping in balance the things that I need to do? And that in itself is a situation needing to know if you truly are okay. Um, let's look at this. Let's look at your challenges. Escaping ruin and pulling yourself together, learning from the past hardships. So, again, this is where I'm saying like this is a really tricky one because when you're going through healing and you're really trying to figure it all out, and it's really hard to figure it all out. For example, if you have no examples, if you have nobody to base it off of, if you feel like you're really the only one in your life who's getting kind of trying to get a grasp on what to do and how to do it and how to do it well and like really go somewhere like on an inner level and an outer level as well, but no one else seems to be on board with that or supporting you with that. That makes this journey so difficult and so confusing. And so something like healing being a challenge is completely understandable. Um, and it's so funny. It feels so backwards because the healing is in your challenges, and this one, often known as the challenge card, is in your opportunities card. So I kind of feel like you're definitely this is a healing journey. Like, that is your top priority, that's on your mind, it's your lifestyle. If that sounds like you, 100%, this is your reading. The Four of Pentacles being your opportunities. Now I'm kind of wondering, like, that's just simply another challenge. What is it exactly that you're looking for? What do you hold on to? What do you keep? You have 50 earrings, you should let some go. But how do you know which ones to keep? Is it earrings you should keep? Or is it, for example, habits you should keep? Which habits do you pick, kind of a thing. I feel like we're going to get more of a tie-up in our advice card. So let's just kind of keep moving on with the flow, because I think a lot of this is all the little complications. What you're getting right now is validation and confirmation that I see a big old white dot. You are on a healing journey, and it's very apparent. It's very apparent. You are on the healing journey, and you're literally making progress, whether it looks like it or not. And that's very important for you to know. Because with all of this kind of confusing, muddled energy where everything seems like it's just slightly out of place, but it's not. It's right where it needs to be, and it'll all get worked out. Sorry, skipping ahead. Okay, let's see. Opportunities. The past, insecurity, infertility, lack of growth, lack of confidence, overbearing tendencies, disharmony, and negligence. Okay, so if I had to put this in old judgmental terms, somebody who was lazy, somebody who was lazy because, to be honest, like, they're super distracted and completely overwhelmed, and everything just feels difficult to do because of the amount of stress that they're under, and just the kind of the negative habits, toxic thinking. Like, I used to be a toxic person. Like, that's what we're looking at. It's like, yeah, I used to be a toxic person. I used to be like, I'm a bitch. It's like my personality, kind of a thing. And I'm like trying to own it because you didn't know how to change it, or that you were afraid to change it. Like, you know what I mean? And that was in the past. And what is in the future is peaceful resolution, moving on, compromise, communication, ending conflict. So because you were a toxic person, literally spent the first part of the reading talking about how this is clearly a healing journey, and now your future is becoming more of like a peaceful person, instead of starting fights or being eager and anticipating to win them all. I keep coming anxious to win them all. You're ready, you're eager to solve them, provide solutions, even becoming a person who can mediate. Like, well, let's talk to so and so because they helped me last time figure things out and it actually worked. Becoming that kind of person. So like I said, you're definitely making lots of progress here. Okay, and then here's your personal point of view on the situation. Lacking balance, lacking organization, poor financial decisions. This is Two of Pentacles in reverse. So feeling like you're not able to handle it. I can't handle it. I'm not doing good enough. I'm really struggling. All those kind of negative self-thoughts, that's kind of what's rolling around in your brain, giving me the different outlook that I think I was seeing, or when I first started, was, am I doing good enough? Am I compromising what's good? Am I messing it up somehow, instead of more of like, you're trumping what's bad. You're healing from what's bad. And it's a process, because they're both still here together. But the thing is, it is that matter of perspective. And speaking of perspective, there's other people's perspective. So your perspective is really just like a under the surface kind of a thing, and really trying to stay on top of it. But you're like, you're the duck, okay? You're on top of the water. That's what this one is. This is the duck on top of the water. People see you as the queen. They see you as understanding. They see you as, you're getting stuff done. Like, you're handling this and you're handling that. And to you, it just feels like the stress. This is the constant paddle underneath the surface. You're just kind of do what you gotta do. But people don't see this part, the work part, the stress part, the needing to know part, and needing to learn, and having to practice, and having to do it over and over and over and over and over. People aren't seeing that. And I feel like that will be where a lot of like lack of support comes in, because no one's gonna come in and support someone who's just like on it, bitch. You know what I mean? They think you're okay. They think you're just fine. And it's not gonna be easy to convince anybody, especially because why are you going to want to go out of your way to try and convince people you're struggling? It's not a smart move, I'll tell you that. You don't try to do that, because that can be off-putting to people. It can make them feel concerned and confused, and they're not going to know what to do with it. It's literally your workload. And that's another part where I keep saying this is so confusing. It's so confusing. My hope is to be validating, because these are all really big, really tricky subjects that not a lot of people want to actually handle or talk about. Maybe they don't really know how to put to pinpoint that that's what that is. What this is a struggle. This is your work. Nobody had you being the empress in reverse. You know what I mean? But also, you're the one who made yourself the peacekeeper, and a moderator, probably. Maybe you're a mom, maybe you're a manager, maybe you're just like somebody who looks out for their friends, or for their household, or just for the general world that you have going on around you. You're a queen, and a ruler, somebody who can actually manage all of that. Let's see, here it is, your advice. Now, my advice is, maybe I'm just a complicated person, but basically the advice that I like to give is what I write, the key that lies within the challenge. So I guess I'm a real go-getter. Let's pick this challenge that you have, because the best piece of advice that you're gonna get does lie within that challenge. That's what I believe. So, and it's so perfect, of course. So we have inability to move forward, fear of beginnings, repeating negative patterns, resisting change, and dependency. Oh, that sounds like a dead end. It's literally death in reverse. So the advice that I'm actually getting is to be okay. To be okay with yourself that is struggling. To kind of take all this validation from somebody else and go, okay, literally this person from nowhere is telling me all these things that I'm like, okay, yeah, that's me. Okay, yeah, that's me. But then what? But then how? And what do I do? And if I could feel like all these questions, like this whole reading is like straight disappointing, because it's like I want the answers, you know what I mean? But the only answer that we're getting so far is just that, yeah, you're there. You know, you're at where you're at. And like that's supposed to be good enough. And that's the advice that you're getting, is that yes, it is. It's good enough. You're good enough. You're great. You're doing great because you are on track. You're working hard. And the value, the energetic value of you working so hard and feeling like it's pulling so little, that's just the physical point of view. That's the what you can see in the 3D. But the energetic spiritual value that you are accumulating is huge. You don't have to make this look fast. You don't have to make your progress look substantial. You don't have to, because it just is. It is substantial that somebody literally pulled themselves up from the bootstraps by themselves, especially if by themselves, if needed. If they had any support, that's wonderful, and that does get credit. But the credit isn't going out, because this reading is really fostering not having to do more than you already are. Keep it up, yes. But to strive for more is unnecessary. You're gonna give more because it'll naturally become easier. This struggle, this paddle that you're building, there's momentum that is accumulating because you're doing it. This respect that you're gaining in people's eyes, people are gaining respect for you because you used to be a bitch and now you're the bitch. You know what I mean? Not trying to call anyone a bitch. I hope no one's offended, because you know what I mean. It's just like the perspective of how people see you is changing, and that is literally so substantial. You're literally changing the world by changing yourself, and there's just major kudos behind that. There's major love behind that. This is a result of you being 88 and looking back in your life, because a lot of that's what you're going to do, is you're in the bed that you have made for your entire life of who you are now. That's your judgment. And this is your judgment, is who you are now. And this is spirit coming to you to tell you that who you are is becoming a queen. Who you are is becoming good. That is good. You've made the mark. Congratulations, you've won the race. And now you get to explore being the person that you choose to be. This becoming has already been done. That truck literally almost hit my car. It scared the piss out of me. Okay. This is what caught me up. So I'm like staring at nothing for a few seconds, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna have to revisit that later, because here's what's going on. I thought, the outcome is the Ace of Wands in reverse, and that's not pretty. Actually, it is, because it really goes along with what I was just realizing what's going on. Like, what is going on? Nothing, right? Like, is that really the answer that we're getting? Is that, you're fine, and you're on track, you're fine, and then what's gonna happen? Nothing. Because it says hesitant, missed opportunities, wasted talent, potential, and fertility. That sounds scary. And I thought, I shouldn't say that because I don't want to make people worry. But the universe was kind of like, well, yes, but it's okay to say that. And it was a challenge for me to say that, because then I'm like, I only gotta match my vibes. I have a dip, now I gotta raise my vibes. I gotta get back on track and figure out what the heck I was just talking about. The fact of it is, like, how is that a good thing? It's a great thing, because there's no challenge to win. The challenge has already been won. The challenge was you overcoming you, and it's not coming out even, because you're learning how to shape your experience, and that's just what we do. We can be bad. You can be this forever. To be honest, I'm not fully sure that there is somebody who's gonna say if you're good enough at the end of your life. You know what I mean? There is no checklist. There is no guilty. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be like that. It's just, it is what it is. If you wanted more stress, then you'll be stressed. And then you'll get stressed. And then you'll get stressed. If you wanted more happiness, you'll be happy. And then you'll have things that make you happy. And then you'll just be happy. But it's just a range of existence. And it's a very, very wonderful picture of having anxiety over nothing, kind of a thing. That's the negative point of view, is kind of like what people will think. You know, if they're seeing you in a negative light, it's gonna kind of seem like that. Why do you have to be stressed about? Why are you depressed? Like, weren't you happy 5 minutes ago? Weren't you all great and everything? Like, what's wrong with you now? You know what I mean? Because some people have, like, this need and desire to have purpose, to know that it's okay, to fulfill the black hole that, like, never got to form, you know. And the only reason there's a hole there is because it's the piece of you that you've got to fill. You know, like, you know, the pictures of, like, a hole right here, like, above your heart or whatever. And most of the time, you always grew up thinking, oh, you know, someone else is going to fill my heart. Bing, and then I'm happy. I don't know about you, but if I ever came across a carcass, I would not rip my own heart out to put it inside their body. And I'm being very physical about that, because in a metaphorical sense, it's not meant to be that way either. In a metaphorical sense, you would just grow back your own heart. You would just kind of grow into yourself. If you're gone, it's just you, that you're gone. And that's why you feel empty, because you are not there. Not because somebody else isn't there. You don't share anatomy like that. You know what I mean? It doesn't really work that way. And you can use that in a metaphorical sense as well. It does not work that way. There is no race to win. It's not that there's no point, but it's just that you're on track to getting what you want because you decided to stand up and fight for it. You can let go of the social obligations to feel like you have to win. You can let go of the social obligations that you have to have passion about something. That just simply going with the flow can be all right too. See, now I struggled with that. It's part of why I took a break from tarot. I wanted to have passion for tarot. It was undeniable. I've got it. I want to do it. But I started struggling with why I want to do it. Because honestly, I felt like, because I like tarot, and because I want to do it, read it, help others, that I had to have this uncontrollable passion that, you know, would suffer if I didn't give in, Well, turns out that's not the case. Turns out I'm okay with just being busy with my normal everyday life and putting everything into balance to get earrings and, decide to like to wear them because I want to find out my own style and, and just allow my passion to get smaller as much as it can get bigger. Because that's another thing I didn't allow was a natural ebb and flow. And this is part of telling you can rest. That keep it up, but you don't have to give more and more and more and more. For example, I'm getting Starbucks. I get a drink. It's $5.47. I hand her a 20. She's gonna give me some change back. She's not gonna go get my 20 and be like, thanks, man. You know what I mean? She's not gonna stare me down and be like, you want your change? Or are you gonna give extra? This is a really yummy drink. I put whipped cream on it. Sprinkles. I deserve the 20. You know what I mean? There's no pressure. You're going to get your change back. You're going to get all this extra that you're giving out. It's going to come back to you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And to be honest, you probably don't, at this rate, you don't have to give so much. Why give a 20 when you can give a 10? It is perfectly okay. And you'll know which one to give. Because people don't just see you being a queen if you're just this. Nobody looks at this weird Pied Piper who's standing on his head, juggling discs and being like, that's a queen. They deserve to run a country. You know what I mean? No, they're out in the street, begging for money. You know what I mean? And you might feel that way. Because this is work. This is straight work. All they see is what happens when you're on the throne. That's all that they need from you. It's just to look at you and say, wow, she did great. That's it. That's it. You can't expect so much more from people, because a queen who is constantly under supervision while people are watching her make decisions and watching her struggle and watching her learn and make mistakes, they're not going to look at this queen the same way anymore. They're going to see someone running around ragged and it's not going to be so hot. You know what I mean? So let people not know how much you really do. That's okay too. It's okay to be the only one who knows just how hard you work, because now you'll sit on this throne with enough self-respect to deserve sitting on that throne. Does that make sense? And that kind of energy will permeate the air, and people will go, wow, that's why she's on the throne. Because they can literally feel the different kind of energy that you truly give off for the most part. Now, it's not a great idea to feel like an anxious little duck, always underwater, but the energy that you're putting off, this is what it's cultivating. So you're doing a great job. This is a really odd way to portray this card, but you're doing fan-fucking-tastic. So I am proud of you, and whoever you are, I hope you have a great day, and just take some time tonight, make some tea, a nice hot cup of coffee, and just try to just thank yourself. Just literally thank yourself that you did a good job. You did a great job. And you are doing a good job, because you're going to keep on doing it, because that's who you are now. And that's amazing. So, goodbye. Goodbye. Good night.